It's a loud gymnasium tonight from downtown Manhattan. We join you from the Borough of Manhattan Community College as tonight the CUNy Athletic Conference brings you the Community College Men's Basketball Championship game presented by Army ROTC. Tonight, it's a matchup between the BMCC Panthers playing on their home floor at 20-6. They take on the 10-14 Kingsborough Wave. And with that, good evening and welcome tonight on Facebook Live here with the Community Athletic Conference. Alongside Nick Diamantis, I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. Jillian Sakovich will join us tonight on the sideline. These two teams meeting for the third time this season, Nick, and BMCC walloped Kingsborough in both meetings. But the Wave come in feeling much more optimistic about their chances. They've played their best basketball this season right now.
And they have to be nothing but optimistic coming into tonight's game. After a 15-2 run to complete their semifinal win over the Hostos Caymans, they got to be feeling nothing but confident playing this BMCC team on their home floor tonight.
And for Kingsborough, winners of 5 of 6, they have perhaps the biggest front line across Region 15 at the Division III level. 6'8", 6'9", 6'5", including sophomore center Asaph Charles.
And Asaph Charles has been the leader for this Wave team throughout the entire season. He's an excellent student in the classroom. He's been the CUNYAC Scholar Athlete of the Year, also an All-Star for the CUNYAC as well. He's going to be tremendous for the Wave. They're going to have any chance of winning tonight's game. It's been a long time since Kingsborough has been in this opportunity. He's going to be the guy that gets them the championship if he plays well tonight.
And for BMCC, well, they received a great gift when they learned that freshman point guard Karan Dublin was joining the program. All he has done is shoot remarkable percentages on his way to becoming the CUNY Player of the Year.
And Karan Dublin can score from anywhere on the court. He leads the CUNYAC in points scored in 20 a game. He was a 4-time Rookie of the Week in the CUNYAC and also the CUNYAC Player of the Year as well. He's tremendous for Coach Guerin's squad. He's going to have to play almost 35 to 40 minutes throughout the entire game. If he has more than 20 points, his usual consistent mark for the Panthers squad, they'll be in good shape tonight.
So BMCC pursuing a community college championship tonight and looking to defeat Kingsborough for the third time on the year. They'll have to do it on their home floor. We're coming back with the opening tip, the starting lineups, all coming up next on the CUNY Athletic Conference Championship presented by Army ROTC.
The best new sports web series is here. It's from Backpack Broadcasting, and it's called The Sports Walk. The Sports Walk is a series where diverse sports fans take a walk and share their views at the intersection of sports and society.
For Kingsborough, this has been a long time coming. They have not been in the final since 2010, and they come into BMCC tonight with momentum on their side. Just to get here, they had to rally from a 10-point deficit in the final 3 minutes of the game in the semifinals. Not to mention they are winners of 5 of their last 6. So this is a team that is clicking at the right time. I asked their head coach, why now? You know, a month ago, this is not a team that we knew would be here, and he said that they are trusting one another, they're communicating, and that he thinks will be the difference here tonight. Now, what does that mean for BMCC? Well, they are going to be facing a very different Kingsborough team than they saw in the past. Kingsborough fell in both of the meetings with BMCC, but they were missing key players in their rotation both times. So BMCC hasn't seen this Kingsborough team yet, guys.
Thank you, Jillian. And those key players that the Wave have back, they hope they can make a difference, including 6'9" sophomore big man off the bench, Consolo Adams, who missed the game, as well as 6'4" sophomore guard, Prince Owugbe, also for the Wave, that plays key minutes, and he is usually a starter or the sixth man that averages 11 points per game. So that's a look at the Wave and their optimism this evening, Nick, where it's hard to beat a good team 3 times. That's what BNCC will try to do, but they get to do it shooting on their home floor, Jim.
And that's going to help tremendously. They're going to have the crowd on their side from start to finish. They're going to play Kingsborough team, as Jill mentioned, that they haven't really seen with their full squad on the court. So it's going to be an interesting start. We'd like to see what they can do in the first couple minutes of the first half. If BMCC can get their three-point shooting on key early on, it could be a tough night for Kingsborough.
BMCC tonight will pursue a 5th CUNy championship, and the illustrious program that Coach Tommy Guerin has taken over. Congratulations to Tommy there in the foreground on the right, the 2018 CUNy Coach of the Year in his 2nd season, as the BMCC Panthers will be introduced. Here's a look at the Kingsborough Wave tonight. As we said, a very big team that has size off the bench too at the junior college level. That is an abnormality, particularly in the CUNy. Many times you see players 6'8" and above be recruited to play at the full scholarship Division I junior college levels. Well, their 6'1" sophomore point guard is Travis James from Brooklyn's Sheepshead Bay High School. Their leading scorer is Micaiah Goosby, a sophomore out of Far Rockaway, New York, from the High School of Construction. He was named an All-Star at yesterday's luncheon. Then a 6'6" freshman who plays the small forward spot, Alexander Bartolomeev. And he was essentially a walk-on into preseason, and he's had a nice year. 6'5" sophomore power forward, Selvon Legal, out of Erasmus Hall in Brooklyn. And then Asaph Charles, the 6'8" sophomore center from Brooklyn's Edward R. Murrow High School. Kingsborough head coach is Dr. Lambert Shell. In his 5th season, a former All-American player and National Player of the Year at the Division II rank of SUNY over at Bridgeport up in Connecticut.
And Kingsborough, they're going to have to rely on Asaph Charles. He will be front and center in that front court for the Wave tonight. And they're going to give that ball to him as often as they can. They like to utilize their offensive game from the inside out. And if he can get on the board early in this game, BMCC is going to have trouble having a guy on him throughout the remainder of this night tonight.
And now the BMCC Panthers will be introduced here to the home crowd that was very loud as they supported the BMCC women that just lost in the game before this one to Hostos in the Community College Women's Championship. Well, Karan Dublin is the freshman point guard at 6'1" out of Mott Hall High School in the city. He attended Percy E. Sutton High for school, but then played for Mott Hall. And then the backcourt with 6' freshman Curtis Smith. Here is Smith out of Thomas Jefferson High School, where he won a city championship 2 years ago. 5'9" sophomore Anthony McLean plays in the wing out of Transit Tech High. Viktor Kovacevic at 6'7" is their freshman center from Belgrade, Serbia, also named an All-Star yesterday. And their do-it-all player at just 6 foot, Lawrence Todman, is a sophomore from Harlan's Frederick Douglass Academy. He plays the 4 spot, but Todman, as Tommy Guerin says, he can truly play every other position if we need him to. But for this team, Todman guards the 4 for BMCC, the #1 seed in at 20-6.
It's going to be a very interesting matchup for these BMCC Panthers, a very small team compared to Kingsborough, as you mentioned. They're going to have to utilize their front court ability to get some shots from behind the arc on the wings and also from the top of the key. Karan Dublin's going to have to be the mastermind but behind everything tonight for the Panthers. As for Kingsborough, on the defensive side, Micaiah Goosby and Travis James are going to have a hell of a night, making sure that they can limit those 3-point shots from BMCC.
The two meetings this season, November 7th, so very early in the year, 92-74 BMCC, and they led by 23 at the half. BMCC shot a very robust 13 of 30 from three, but then they topped that in the game right here about a month ago, exactly a month ago, January the 16th, 96-77 here at the gym. 18 of 41. That's a 44% clip for BMCC from three. They shot 48% for the game. They're one of the top outside shooting teams in the country. And the Panthers come in trying to use that momentum from the outside. Our officials, Sean Morgan, Mike Erlang Fleury, and Gregory Flynn doing the honors. BMCC in the home whites. The Kingsborough Wave, blue with orange numbers. And the Panthers with Karan Dublin opening up with possession. Man-to-man look for Kingsborough. Victor Kovacevic, first look as he shoots over Asaph Charles. And the rebound for the Wave, an excellent rebounding team, as you would imagine, with all the size that they possess. Micaiah Goosby with BMCC also opening up in a man-to-man. But it's a high-pressure team, and that's a great start for Kingsborough. Micaiah Goosby knocking down a three.
And that's an excellent start. Couldn't ask for a better start for Coach Lambert Shell and his Kingsborough Wave team.
Goosby coming in just 22% from beyond the arc, so that's a big make for the Wave. As a team, they're only 27%. So they do not want to get into a shootout with the Panthers as Anthony McLean gets the runner to fall.
And that's the quick guard play that allowed that separation of space for McLean to put the floater in.
And here's what BMCC has been about: pressure and forcing teams to play up tempo. The deflection by Karan Dublin. As Tommy Guerin described his defense, we're not looking for steals, but we're trying to make teams rush, make them take shots they don't want to take. On the baseline runner, pretty shot from Sasha Bartolomeyev.
And both teams off to a good offensive start, very efficient. Kingsborough 2 of 2, BMCC 1 of 1. It's a good start for both teams.
Dublin will pick up a foul outside as Victor Kovacevic was run into on the screen. As Travis James picks up the foul, there is Dr. Lambert Shell. What a player he was, Nick. Played professionally from 92 to 05, overseas, many different cities in the U.S., earning an induction to several different Hall of Fames, including the New England Basketball Hall of Fame in 03, Fairfield County Hall of Fame in 2015.
A 3,000 point score in his college career. That would be the #1 mark in all of CUNy.
On the jumper that was missed, a follow also missed inside by BMCC's Lawrence Todman, but then the three for Karan Dublin.
Second chance point was the reason why BMCC was so open. They had a number of shooters willing to take that three.
Bartolomeyev missed the runner, and we have a foul on the floor.
It's going to go against Karan Dublin.
So the Wave getting to the free throw line with Asaph Charles. But there is Dr. Shell, an incredible career. And this, as he says, is kind of his way of giving back. He did not expect to go into coaching, but he's in his 5th season. So Charles, one of the top shot blockers in the country, and nearly 3 per, knocks down the first free throw. And at 6'8", pretty good numbers, 60% this year as a sophomore, and even better numbers in the classroom. A 3.97 GPA in accounting. And Dr. Shell feels he should get a scholarship just based on that, in addition to the 6'8". What else do you want?
Absolutely. He's everything for Kingsborough. You couldn't ask for a better representation of your team than Asaph Charles.
Out of the corner, another three. Curtis Smith missed it.
Good contest from Asaph Charles there, getting in the way.
Micaiah Goosby, and he picked up the foul on the head from Lawrence Todman. So more free throws from the Wave as we've played less than 3 minutes.
We've seen some very interesting calls there. The last 2 calls going against BMCC, 50-50 calls to say the least.
So Micaiah Goosby attended the high school for construction and is Kingsborough's leading scorer at about 14 a game. Bounced around a bit, and like many of these players at the community college level, there's always a backstory, or one that they need to persevere through to make the next step to the 4-year college. His dad brought him to the Kingsborough gym 1.5 years ago, spent a year essentially to redshirt academically, did that, got his grades in order. Here's a good look at a 3. Victor Kovacevic at 6'7". He can shoot those at 46%.
Yep, he's one guy that you're going to want to have a person on constantly.
Curtis Smith with the steal to take it in and was fouled. Good foul as Travis James prevented the layup.
Yep, and Kingsborough's got to be much better and much more careful with that ball, as early turnovers will kill any team, especially the BMCC team that likes to run.
So Curtis Smith out of Thomas Jefferson High School class of 2016. And if you're a New York City basketball fan, you will be very aware of Curtis Smith's team. You see, he was the 3rd wheel in a team that captured a PSAL City Championship for the first time since 1954. They blew out Lincoln at Madison Square Garden 90-61. His teammates, Shamori Pons, that's been in the national headlines recently, starring for St. John's with upset wins over Duke and Villanova. And then Rasheem Dunn, who is playing well at St. Francis of Brooklyn. 2 Division I guys. Charles lost it. Thought he was fouled. It'll stay with Kingsborough.
Excellent effort there from McLean, trying to save the ball from going out of bounds. Almost was able to get it to a teammate just outside the reach of Karan Dublin there.
It'll remain with the Wave, an offense that's averaging 72 points per game. Much better numbers than the early season. As Selvon Legal made his move, knocked out of bounds. But the Wave have won 5 of 6. And Dr. Shell feeling the best team he's had in 5 years and just teaching them how to play. And it's been a process all the way into late January. Charles bowls his way through and scores. Pretty move from Asaph Charles.
That's easy work for Asaph. He's going to have the space and the height advantage throughout the entire game. If Kingsborough can get the ball to him constantly, they'll be in good shape.
And he already has 4 points. In the last game between these two teams, January 16th, Asaph only scored 2. A contested shot as Smith may have at least been bothered, if not getting a piece of it, was Charles.
Yep. And defense has been so good for Kingsborough to start this game. If they can utilize their height advantage, they'll be in good shape.
And then the running right-handed floater goes from Micaiah Goosby.
Kingsborough off to a very good start here, very efficient on the offensive side. Couldn't ask for a better start if you were Lambert Shell.
Dublin using the screen of Kovacevic. His floater is off the back rim. Into the game, Eder Menos, freshman backup point guard out of Sheepshead Bay High School. Charles again featured against Kovacevic. Back to the right-hand jump hook.
And right now, it hasn't been an even matchup between Kovacevic and Charles. Charles winning this battle early on, and he could throughout the entire game if he keeps it up this way.
A great start for Kingsborough. The lead is 5. Nice pass. Kovacevic finding Todman on the cut.
And BMCC taking advantage of the miscommunication on defense for Kingsborough there.
Goosby knocked away from behind by Todman. Up ahead, it'll be an easy one for Curtis Smith.
And the defense turning into offense for Kingsborough. Against Kingsborough, I'm sorry, BMCC taking advantage of the turnovers there.
That's the game the Panthers want to play. Out it comes to Goosby. And BMCC getting the rebound with Karan Dublin. Dublin also averages as a 6'1" point guard, 6 boards a game. Victor Kovacevic He gets the home run roll.
And he's 2 for 2 already from behind the arc. He loves that top of the key spot. And if he's open there.
And another turnover by Kingsborough.
Kovacevic doing work on both sides of the floor for this Panthers team.
Todman had the pass threaded from half court by Dublin, ripped away by Edermenos. BMCC has gone back in front. They've already knocked down 3 threes. Charles back to work, called for traveling.
That's good walk. Kovacevic, after being beaten twice in a row by Asaph Charles, taking the confidence from making those 2 3-point shots onto the defensive side.
Both teams to make subs, and this is where the Wayne feel they're especially different, as Jillian told you. Here is 6'9" sophomore Consolo Adams, number 21. He is from the Caribbean island of St. Vincent. Been playing much better at the end of the season. He missed the first game between these two. And then Prince Uwigbe, 6'4" sophomore guard, also in for the first time. He missed the second. As Kovacevic, let's see if they call it on the floor. And they will, no shots. So BMCC to get it in. And the foul was on Selvon Legal. Curtis Smith leaving it for the outside 3. That's no good from Alex Humphreys. And then Kovacevic is fouled. Humphreys also into the game for the Panthers.
And that's 2 very quick fouls against Legal within 10 seconds of play. And Coach Lambertshell is going to need him to play as many minutes as possible.
Kovacevic, quick baseline out of bounds, he hits. 8 points early for Victor Kovacevic.
And he's one guy that we would think he would have trouble against Asaph Charles tonight. He's so far having a good start.
Consolo Adams to the outside, Edermenos missing a 3. And BMCC not interested in the speed limit. Karan Dublin with a long range 2.
And that is exactly what the CUNy Player of the Year can do. He can create shots from his own dribble.
Then the other way, Adams with a very hard silencer.
And he did that a couple of times against Queensborough Wednesday night. To give him any open space in the paint, he will jam it down like that constantly.
Kovacevic this time from the wing. And the rebound falls to Kingsborough. The Wave want to control tempo.
It's been a very back and forth game so far.
Goosby to the fall away. And how good can Kingsborough be with Micaiah Goosby engaged? He's got 8. Talked to Micaiah yesterday at the CUNy Awards luncheon, saying confidence has been his main thing, constantly working out, and is known as the big vocal leader of this Kingsborough team, keeping everybody engaged. Kovacevic on the drive around Adams.
And he's got 10 early points for the Panthers. He's making a difference so far in this start.
The Panthers all over the Wave defensively before Kingsborough is bailed out by the foul.
And it's Alex Humphreys called for the foul there. Primarily a 3-point shooting threat for Coach Guerin and the Panthers. It looks like Legal will take a seat for Ramon Gill.
We come up on 11 minutes to play in a good start. CUNY Community College men's basketball championship game tonight. BMCC, the 1 seed, trying to defeat Kingsborough for the 3rd time this season. As Adams missed a tip, and then a foul on Dublin. And that is going to be 16 fouls already against Kingsborough. Not a good foul at all by Eder Meadows.
And just not a smart foul. You don't want fouls underneath your own basket, especially early on in the game. And as you just mentioned, 5 early team fouls. That can kill the momentum that Kingsborough initiated to start the game.
Alex Humphreys, native of Tennessee, that can shoot from the outside. Dublin off one dribble.
Not a smart shot there. He's trying to do a little bit too much on that possession. Slow the momentum down. It's an early game. You want to have better shots that and into the shot clock a little more than that.
Kingsborough's helped themselves by only turning it over 3 times. Adams, his jump hook is off. And for BMCC, freshman Mark Morgan, the rebound. Out of the Bronx, attending South Bronx Prep, Kovacevic with the lane opening up.
He's having a fantastic start. He's doing everything right on the offensive side for the Panthers.
Adams bears into him, called for an offensive foul. He put an elbow into Kovacevic's chin.
And the quick hustle from Kovacevic getting into the spot right away, forcing that offensive foul against Adams. And that will quickly bring Asaph Charles back into the game.
Victor Kovacevic, as I got a chance to meet him at yesterday's CUNy Awards luncheon, great job by Zach Ikovic and Ian Schreier and the whole staff to put that together annually, by the way. But Victor grew up as a point guard. He had a recent growth spurt, was a point guard his whole life until middle school, so he's had that skill set now with him as a big. And he has made a very quick adjustment coming from Serbia into the United States to play basketball, and his English is flawless.
Absolutely. He's as if he's lived here his entire life. He definitely mentioned the fact that high school basketball here in the United States, very fast-paced. He talked about how that fits his playing style. He likes being versatile, whether it's playing on the block or taking those threes from behind the arc. So far, it's showing in this game. He's had a very impressive start for Coach Garrett and the Panthers.
Today's championships are being brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the CUNy Athletic Conference, and by the Hospital for Special Surgery, where the world comes to get back in the game. The hospital ranked #1 in the country for orthopedics by U.S. News and World Report. No wonder Hospital for Special Surgery is the official hospital of the CUNYAC. For more information, please visit hss.edu. We're in downtown Manhattan tonight, bringing you the 2018 CUNY Community College Men's Basketball Championship game presented by Army ROTC. Ralph Bednarczyk alongside Nick Diamantis and our sideline reporter, Jillian Sakovitz. #1 seeded BMCC blew out this Kingsborough team twice in the regular season, but we've got a good game on our hands with a 6-point ball game. Kingsborough, they have the 3 seed, but under 500 at just 10-14. But they won 5 of 6 coming into this one, playing their best ball. Now our officials are over at the scores table and checking on the clock.
It looked like Coach Lambert Shell had a question with fouls for the half, I'm assuming, or maybe foul on a particular player. He's had foul trouble. The Gall has 2 early fouls. So trying to clear that up with the scorers table, as he should be in an important game like this.
Yeah, earlier I said it was team foul number 6, but they made it change apparently very quickly from 4 to 5, so it sits at 5 at the moment. Karan Dublin rolling to the basket. Kovacevic made a tough catch and even better finish.
What can I say about his start to this game? He seems to be making every correct decision, and Coach Guerin is trying to feed it to him more and more. It's been a problem for Asaph Charles and the rest of the Kingsborough wave so far in this game, and it can get out of hand if he continues this.
And to finish, a great story on Victor. He was playing in Serbia for what he called a Division I equivalent team. Many of his teammates coming up became pros or are still involved in pro clubs. Some of them came to the U.S. like him to play Division I or Division II. And he's played with and against several high-level players you'll be hearing about in the future. As he makes the free throw and has 15 points, and now Kingsborough could not solve the BMCC trap.
And looks like the turnovers are going to come up and catch Kingsborough. You can't have him right now, already down 9 after a great start, it seemed like.
And that's the 5th turnover. Dublin in rhythm, then drills a 3. Second 3 for Dublin, who is shooting an outrageous 52% from beyond the arc this year. And now another turnover against the pressure.
And it's going to be an obvious timeout for Kingsborough. They're going to have to talk things over right now, losing their composure on this court. And that's playing into the BMCC favor, and the crowd is recognizing that.
So the Panthers have built a 12-point lead in a hurry, as the Wave will talk about it, as Lambert Shell leads his team through that. Well, as you said, look, he was brutally honest. They crushed us twice. They shot the ball great, and the second time we really couldn't defend them. But now thinks their matchup zone is a lot better, and they want to take good shots and make BMCC take contested threes. How are they doing in that department?
And right now, BMCC taking advantage of the space that they've been able to create. You see Kovacevic having a great start on all areas on the court. Karan Dublin just making an incredible 3 with a hand in his face. Right now, BMCC taking to advantage their home court. And so far, a great start, 30 points in under 10 minutes of play.
There's the strip in the corner, but then the whistle, and it's going to remain with BMCC. For BMCC, sophomore guard Devin Barrios, who can also shoot the 3, into the game for the first time. Here's Humphreys. Morgan. Still plenty of time to shoot. 9 minutes to go in the opening half. Kingsborough looking for their first title since 2010. They have the most championships in CUNy Community College history, as Morgan missed the runner, and then the foul by Barrios on the rebound.
Almost an incredible finish there from Morgan, trying to go with the scoop layup with his weak hand. Just the rollout there. That would have gotten the crowd pumped up after.
Kingsborough has turned it over consecutive times against pressure. But they get the ball across here, but still turn it over. And then Dublin is fouled as he made his move, as Micaiah Goosby had no choice but to prevent the breakaway layup.
The BMCC defensive pressure has been fantastic the last 3 minutes or so in this first half, creating a lot of turnovers, making things difficult for this Kingsborough offense.
And now, Nick, that's the 7th team foul against Kingsborough. So Karan Dublin, and you talk about great percentages that guards can put together. We often hear the 90 percentile free throws, 45 from 3, or let's say 40 from 3, 50% from the floor that some of the great guards in the NBA have done, like Steph Curry, John Stockton back in the day. Karan Dublin has been flirting with that number, or that trifecta, all year, as he makes a pair of free throws. As we get the BMCC foul, Dublin is averaging or shooting 59% from the floor, 52 from 3, 90 at the line. So he's even surpassed that in a lot of ways, despite all the attention he has started to get the second half of the year.
It's almost impossible to have a better year, statistically speaking.
And a jumper from the middle of the zone. That's a knockdown from Selvon Legal.
And those are well-needed points for Kingsborough. Now down by 12 points. They're going to need to create something and get back into this game.
Dublin met in a switch by Asaph Charles. He'll pull the trigger and drill a 3 over the 6'9" big man.
Yep, and he'll make them anywhere on the court. And we mentioned that in our open. Karan Dublin.
Charles shooting over Kovacevic. Offensive rebound, Kingsborough, Ramon Gill. And Gill gets it back and calmly hits the 2.
And they needed that basket. Second chance points will be big. They have the size advantage, as we've mentioned plenty of times in this game. They're going to need to make points out of nothing tonight.
Kovacevic taking on Charles, who forced the bad shots. Kingsborough, and the officials are going to get an over and back there.
Sloppy basketball right there. You got to control the ball. You just forced an awful shot there from Kovacevic. You got to take advantage of those mistakes if you're going to want to chip into this deficit.
And Dr. Lambert Shell just getting on his guys, specifically Selvon Legal, for that turnover. Another 3 from Dublin off the front rim, flying in for the miss. Nearly coming up with it was Anthony McLean. And then a near save by Kovacevic. Prince Owigbe. And we had a foul, and it's going to go against Kingsborough's Prince Owigbe, as BMCC was about to outlet the ball for another fast break.
And Kingsborough, they got to look for smarter shots there, trying to force way too many tough shots. And the pressure that's been caused by this BMCC defense really working into the Panther favor.
So Kovacevic to the free throw line. Let's check in on the sideline again with Jillian.
Kingsborough's coach Shell told me before the game the absolute key to this one for Kingsborough is going to be stopping BMCC's 3. He said they are a sharp-shooting group, and that obviously one of the sources of frustrations for Coach Shell and his staff right now. BMCC in the first half, 5 for 8 from the field, so obviously not off to the start that they wanted to, stopping that 3. Then on the other side, we have BMCC, where Coach Guerin told me the key in this one is going to be boxing out, and he seems satisfied with their performance so far. They've done a good job, have not let Kingsborough get a lot of their own rebounds despite their size, so we'll see if they're able to keep pulling away here, guys.
Thank you, Jillian. Well, the rebounding number at last check, we don't have the very latest stats. Last check, 13-10 Kingsborough, so not an overwhelming number against a much smaller BMCC team.
You know, and that could definitely change, though. They just got to make sure that they keep playing smart basketball to close out this first half.
And meanwhile, Kingsborough continues to commit fouls. Karan Dublin up to 14 points. And 9 team fouls against the Wave.
The score says 38-22. It doesn't feel that way. It feels like it's very balanced despite the 16-point difference.
Missed shot by Legal. Offensive rebound, and the Wave couldn't get the putback. Then this one punched ahead, recovered by Todman. Lawrence Todman left the left-hand layup short. Gill to calm things for a moment. Selvon Legal, wild shot. Asaph Charles will collect and put it up and in.
And Asaph should have gotten that pass from Legal. He was open. Legal decided to do things himself. Asaph not quitting on that basketball, able to grab the loose ball for an easy layup there.
8 points for Asaph Charles. He and Micaiah Goosby leading the Wave in scoring. This is Curtis Smith putting the ball on the floor. Again, a contested shot in the lane.
And the presence there by Charles affecting the result of that layup. And he's going to have to be a physical force the entire game.
Ramon Gill missing the 3. And up ahead. And we'll get the ball knocked out of the hands of Curtis Smith. Good recovery from Prince Owigbe for Kingsborough.
Excellent defense. That probably definitely saved 2 points on the board for Kingsborough. They definitely need to keep the defensive pressure on BMCC. At 14 points right now with 5:26 left, they're going to have to cut in within single digits into halftime.
Smith was chased off the arc. Dublin steps back even further. So he's off in the 3. BMCC now 5 of 10 from 3. Still a super percentage.
And every time Karan takes that shot, it looks like it has every single chance to go in.
Micaiah Goosby missed. The follow no good from Bartolomeev. Another opportunity, and this one will go down. Consolo Adams.
And if it's not going to be Charles in the paint, it will be Adams. Again, Kingsborough trying to get second, third, fourth chance opportunities in order to cut the BMCC lead.
A timeout on the floor, 38-26. BMCC pursuing a CUNy championship, and they're fifth in the program's history. A very dangerous team that could do some damage in the Region 15 tournament.
Especially if they keep shooting the way that they've been shooting all season. It's going to be tough for any team that they'll face to defend those perimeter shooting targets. And they could do it with all 5 guys on the floor.
Tonight's CUNy Community College Men's Basketball Championship game is also being presented to you by the Municipal Credit Union. It's a privilege to work closely with MCU, the title sponsor for baseball and CUNy athletics. MCU is one of the oldest and largest credit unions in the country. CUNy students and faculty are all eligible to join MCU and experience the benefits and security of credit union membership. For more information, visit them at nymcu.org.
5 minutes left in the game. It's an 11-point lead for BMCC. They're going to have to keep the pressure going, keep Kingsborough from getting any closer to this game.
Adams with a block on Dublin.
That's a huge stop there from Adams.
And then stepping out even deeper, short of that three, is Anthony McLean. He tried about a 28-footer.
That's not the shot you want if you're BMCC.
And Bartolomeev is called for traveling. And Kingsborough will give it right back.
And that's not the kind of shot that he's used to taking. Sasha more of a slasher per se, as he likes to get to the basket and get to the foul line when fouled.
BMCC is led by as many as 15. Kovacevic shooting over Adams.
Adams' physical presence, his length, causing havoc for all the BMCC players whenever he's on the court.
Legal, and then on the baseline drive, Goosby. And the rebound tipped around and recovered by Mark Morgan. Todman seeing Morgan. That will count. A circus acrobatic shot from Mark Morgan.
Miraculous finish there from Morgan. I think he looked a little surprised to see that one go in. He'll take it as he'll finish the three-point play here with the free throw.
Morgan will go to the line for one shot.
Mark Morgan, as Tommy Guerin describes him, does a little bit of everything for them. With an effective mid-range game, kind of your typical New York City guard that can keep the ball on a string. That was a shot out of the playground. He gets the three-point play. A 14-point lead, and now another steal. Dublin up ahead. Todman with the pull-up.
And for BMCC, you want to capitalize from the Kingsborough mistakes. They're doing it often, and right now, it's still a 14-point deficit.
Bartolomeev makes BMCC pay for the pressure.
And this game's still not over with that big three-pointer from Sasha. That's why you got to take care of those mistakes from Kingsborough.
Sasha Bartolomeev with the three. He shoots it 28% from distance. Kovacevic.
BMCC is relying too much on their three-point shooting. It's allowing Kingsborough to chip in.
Uwigbe missed, and racing ahead is Dublin. Then to the transition pull-up. 16 points for Karan Dublin, and it's come in a hurry.
And he can make that with a blindfold on, as he's taken shots wilder than that, incredibly harder than that. He's got it all.
Dublin off the run out, and was challenged at the rim by Uwigbe.
Karan Dublin trying to single-handedly increase the BMCC lead here.
Fouls charge number 10, Prince Uwigbe, that's his second.
So Karan Dublin, 4-time CUNy Rookie of the Week. And the expectation is by Tommy Guerin, he's going to end up being an All-American this season and have plenty of options. Big reason why he chose BMCC, he and Lawrence Todman have known each other since they were very young, always at the park, always at each other's houses, always shooting around and playing basketball together. Dublin is up to 18 to lead all players. And the lead is 15 for BMCC. And we'll get a tie-up. It'll remain with Kingsborough.
And that's excellent effort from Curtis Smith to block that pass from getting into the hands of Goosby, as if Goosby was in perfect position to catch that ball, pivot, and go for a layup there.
Bartolomeev rattles in another three. So consecutive threes from Sasha Bartolomeev, and the Wave have cut it down to 12 as we near the 2-minute mark of the first half.
And it looks like he's trying to match Kovacevic on his three-point shooting.
Missing the three is Curtis Smith. Out of bounds, going back to Kingsborough.
A couple good stops from Kingsborough in a row. They're going to need to capitalize, get some points on the board, keep it going.
Bartolomeev. That was a heat check with Todman rebounding.
Yep, it looked like just trying to continue the hot streak there.
Kovacevic driving on Charles. That's Bartolomeev with the block. Morgan then came up with a tough board and was fouled.
Looks like that's going to go against Ugube.
Foul is charged to number 10, Prince Uwigbe. That's his third.
And number 3 on Prince Uwigbe.
Morgan is at the line. He'll shoot
So
two.
a real glue guy for Kingsborough. May have to sit for a while. Mark Morgan, you could call him a glue guy, but probably more so an energy guy, the way Tommy Guerin described this freshman.
Alex Humphries re-entering
Had a
the
good
game.
friend being a high school coach in the PSAL B division, where Morgan played at South
Gill,
Bronx
the
Prep.
for the Wave.
They went to go watch him a playoff game at Pace High School in downtown Manhattan. They were sold on Morgan being able to help them.
And having Morgan on your squad can allow Karan Dublin to get open and take those uncontested three-point shots.
Bartolomeev, a tough runner. Nice tough. Charles missing the follow. Dublin, though, saving it right to Todman, and then the Kingsborough foul.
And that's not a good foul. As we mentioned, you never want to foul an opposing player on your side of the court, and to do it in the penalty is even worse. It's going to be double bonus for BMCC.
Number 2 on Ramon Gill. And BMCC, a terrific free throw shooting team. They're 8 of 10 tonight. Lawrence Todman will shoot the pair. 73% for the season is BMCC. Todman even better at 75.
A little bit too much rotation on that free throw from Todman, as he's not used to missing shots that poorly from the charity stripe.
Misses both short. And Asaph Charles rebounds. Gill on the pull-up. Ramon Gill with a couple of buckets here for the Wave, some production.
That's an easy basket for Kingsborough, pushing up the floor. They're going to have to keep scoring quickly in order to get this BMCC team tired.
Dublin picked up his dribble. Morgan attacking Charles and scoring. How about Mark Morgan at 6 foot?
Final minute of play of the first
He
half.
keeps making those acrobatic finishes look good.
Bartolomeev takes one dribble, could not hit, and the foul over the back going the other way. It'll be on it, Asaph
Foul
Charles.
is charged to number 30.
And that's
Asaph
another foul
Charles.
underneath their own basket.
And it'll be more free throws for BMCC. Charles picks up his second.
It just seems like the timing of those fouls, under a minute it's just increasing the lead, and it's unnecessary just going into the locker room. It feels like a big letdown going in, thinking that this lead could be potentially more going into the halftime.
Morgan has scored his 7 points in a blur. Season high is 14 in a win over Rockland Community College.
Couple of substitutions here with the last 43 seconds. A good strategic move from Guerin. He doesn't want any of those important players picking up unnecessary fouls.
Including Wei Fan Zhang, a 6'5 freshman that BMCC picked up at open tryouts this season. Morgan gets both. The lead is 16.
Kingsborough needs a basket here.
Bartolomeev was chased off the arc. Now he'll try the three with the defender slacking off. And Zhang rebounds. Morgan. And the ball corralled underneath. We'll get a tie-up to keep it with BMCC.
That's a tough pass there from Morgan. Understandably so. He likes driving to the basket. But if you're going to go that far deep into the paint, you might as well take it up yourself and try to get the foul call.
The Panthers will make wholesale substitutes. 3 players now in with 16.6 remaining.
There's one extra guy in the court.
Yes, you're right. There was 6, and that's going to be a technical, no? The ball is not inbounded yet, so BMCC very fortunate there. The official is about to blow the whistle to start the clock for the inbound count.
Got to see what Karan Dublin will do here with the last possession.
Dublin with 5, pulling up for 3. The long rebound will be recovered by Kingsborough, and they won't get a shot off. So BMCC comes out shooting the ball very well through the middle of that half. They made 5 threes. They rode Viktor Kovacevic early, and then Karan Dublin was the closer of the first half as he leads all players with 18 points.
And a very fast-paced, up-tempo game. Both teams loving to run and gun, fast offense, putting up shots within 10 seconds in the shot clock. We expect to see more of that in the second half. Kingsborough's got to do a better job controlling the basketball, limiting turnovers, and shooting just as well as BMCC has in this first half.
Still, it's 51-35 BMCC as we stand by for a halftime interview with Tommy Guerin. As Dublin and Kovacevic having the big first halves. And Jillian is now ready to go, standing by with Tommy Guerin.
Smith has 3 points. Number 12, Evan Berrios has 1 foul. Number 14, Alex Humphreys has 1 foul. Number 25, Mark Morgan has 9 points and 1 foul. Number 44,
Coach, 16-point lead at the half. What are your thoughts on the first half?
I actually think we could play better. 10 offensive rebounds. That's a really bad job on our end. But we're hustling, we're scrapping. If we make a few more shots, I think we'll be all right.
You mentioned those 10 offensive rebounds. I know you said a key in this one would be boxing out. In addition to boxing out, what type of adjustments, what do you want to change heading into the second half?
I think we're doing a pretty good job with everything else. We're forcing turnovers. Press is forcing them into some quick shots that I'm not sure if they want to take. And when we're pressing, their bigs aren't getting up and down the way I think they want to. So besides hitting the boards a little bit better and keeping them off the boards, I think I'm pretty happy with everything else.
Coach, thanks so much for the time.
It is that 16-point advantage, 51-35, as Kingsborough has been held to shooting 37% from the floor, BMCC at 40, but they've made 5 threes. We'll take a timeout and then return on Facebook Live with the second half. BMCC and Kingsborough meeting tonight in the CUNy Community College Men's Basketball Championship game presented by Army ROTC.
Michael, BMCC's fourth consecutive year of hosting this final. It's been a great atmosphere here tonight. What do you think?
It's great. Every year we've been hosting it. The crowds are fantastic. A lot of school spirit, all sides. Of course, we're always cheering for BMCC to do well, but bringing all of CUNy here for the tournament is a great opportunity for us to showcase what we have here.
Exactly, showcasing what you have here, the atmosphere. What does this type of experience mean to your student athletes?
Oh, it's great. They feel the support from their fellow students. One students they have class with or eat in the cafeteria with, and then they see them at the game, hear them cheering for them. It really gets them excited, pumped up, and it shows on the court. We had a really good year this year, both the women and the men.
BMCC, a school that is in the heart of Manhattan. Aside from the fantastic location, what else do students love about BMCC?
BMCC, we have so much to offer. We have almost 50 majors students can pick from. We have outside the classroom experiences. I think we offer as many opportunities outside the classrooms with leadership and service and research that any four-year school would offer. So even though we're a community college, we offer everything that a four-year school would have and more.
Michael, thanks so much. The second half coming up in just a bit.
Kingsborough Community College ranks as one of America's top 4 community colleges because Kingsborough students have a high rate of success completing their degrees. They learn in over 50 programs enriched by honors courses and opportunities for civic engagement. They have outstanding success gaining well-paid employment or going on to a 4-year college. When you're ready to change your life, when you're ready to change the world, Kingsborough is here for you.
The best new sports web series is here. It's from Backpack Broadcasting, and it's called The Sports Walk. The Sports Walk is a series where diverse sports fans take a walk and share their views at the intersection of sports and society. The entire first season is now available on Backpack Broadcasting's YouTube channel and backpackbroadcasting.com. See what other sports fans have to say about a variety of issues in the world of sports. Watch all 13 episodes from season 1 and take The Sports Walk today.
Evans for three. Oh, how about that? Now the Dolphins break in as it's Wisakowski who drills it in. Trip, nice move, and finished. Nice pass, Core with the jam.
Yeah.
Guys the ball up to the near post, and there to hit the ball into the goal is Mustafa Halani. And a slam by Sidney Wilson.
Hi, I'm John Starks.
What's going on? I'm Victor Cruz.
My name is David Diamante.
Hi, this is Larry Fitzgerald.
Hello, this is Spike Lee, and you're watching Backpack Broadcasting.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn, and guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
Enrolling in college can seem confusing, but at Kingsborough, we're here to guide you through the process.
From registration through graduation, there's always someone available to help you.
Coach, down by 16, what was your message to the guys in there?
You got to play defense. They get too many open shots, and we're not playing defense. We're not playing together. We're playing hero basketball, and that's not going to win the game.
In a 16-point game, to see that they got 14 points off of free throws, how frustrating is that as a coach?
It's very frustrating. We went into the locker room. They have 19. We 19 fouls. They have 6. Something's wrong with that. And we're playing very aggressive. We're not getting any calls, and something's wrong with that to me.
You told me a key with a team like this was going to be to stop the 3, to hold them 5 out of 14. How satisfied are you with that performance on stopping them from behind the arc?
Well, we did that part. So they're not shooting 3-pointers, but they go into the basket getting fouled. So it's like they live by it and die by it. So we're stopping it, but they're still scoring the ball on us.
You've seen your team come back before. How confident are you that they can turn it on here in the second half?
I'm very confident. I mean, we usually basketball is a game of runs, and hopefully we get the last run, and it's a big run, and hopefully we win the game.
Coach, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Jillian. And when you look deeper, Nick, at the fouls, 19-6 in terms of the fouls, or 14-6 rather, the fouls against Kingsborough so far at the end of the first half. A little bit of a problem, but Kingsborough, it's one thing about the calls, but they allowed BMCC to, I think, shoot at least 4 free throws after the bonus, and there were several others that they could have easily avoided that allowed this score to swell to 16.
Absolutely. Both teams are playing very physical on the court. You're expecting to see an abundance of foul calls being called. Coach Lambert-Chell has a good point about the differentiation of foul calls, but you did mention there's been a couple of pretty ill-advised fouls on the other side of the court, which they could obviously avoid. So expect nothing but the same physicality, intense basketball playing for both teams.
Karan Dublin, the CUNy Player of the Year, has 18 to lead all players with 7 rebounds, 4 assists on 5 of 11 from the field, and 3 of 6 from 3. Viktor Kovacevic, 17 points. He started the game on fire. 6 of 13, 4 rebounds, and looked ultra confident before he cooled down. Those two players comprising the bulk of the scoring for BMCC as they shot 40% for the half. Kingsborough being led in scoring by a really balanced sheet. Micaiah Goosby has 8 on 3 of 8 shooting. He started off the game very well. Sasha Bartolomeev, 8 points on 3 of 9 from the floor, but he has knocked out a pair of threes. And Asaph Charles, Nick, 8.7 rebounds, engaged and involved very early before he left, and he wasn't quite the same player when he re-entered the game when it was a 15-point spread.
And he's 3 of 5 from the field only. He could have a lot more opportunities in this second half. He's going to have to get more involved if Kingsborough is going to have to make a run in order to cut the deficit into single digits where it could be anybody's ball game. So for Kingsborough, it's going to have to be Asaph Charles doing more on the offensive side.
So BMCC at 20-6, the number 1 seed. They're looking for the program's 5th CUNy championship. They won them most recently in 2015, 07, 99, and 89. The 2015 bunch went 27-4, and they lost a heartbreaker. They were upset in the Region 15 final that year. Otherwise, they could have been off to the National Junior College Division III National Championship. Meanwhile, Kingsborough, a very proud program, they have a CUNy Best 9 championships. Most recent one, though, in 2010, and most recent championship game appearance in 11. But they had fallen on some hard times. Former head coach Hassan Duncombe did a good job for a while before they changed coaches off of 6-19 finishes in 12 and 2-23 in 2013 before this team has broken through to the final. Kingsborough with possession. And on the drive from the baseline, an immediate foul as Selvon Legal is going to get some free throws.
Now, after what Lambert-Chell said during the interview with Jill, he was disappointed with the differentiation of foul calls. An early foul call in the favor of Kingsborough. That's what they're going to have to do. Keep driving to the basket, force the time to be stopped, and get some free throws.
And Legal trying to get himself going. Averages over 10 points a game and nearly 7 rebounds. He's been held to 2 as he was saddled with foul trouble in the first half. A man-to-man look again for Kingsborough to open up the second half. Dublin got the kick out and starts the second half with a 3.
And Kingsborough's going to have to do a better job closing out the perimeter shooting. That's not the start that Kingsborough wanted on defense.
And they nearly turn it over, but on the back end, they get the reverse lay-in from Micaiah Goosby.
Excellent answer there for Kingsborough. After almost turning that ball over, able to find the open Goosby on the block.
Goosby, the first Kingsborough player into double figures. Curtis Smith and Kovacevic is able to recover. Then on the drive, Anthony McLean, and left that short.
That's a shot that you have to make. No one really contesting that floater.
Travis James trying to get involved. Had a scoreless first half. He's back playing basketball off of major torn ACL nearly 3 years ago as BMCC turns it over.
Karan Dublin thinking that Sasha was his own teammate there. See if Kingsborough can capitalize on the turnover.
BMCC has remained in the zone. And open look at a three, Micaiah Goosby. And here come the Wave. They've cut it to 13.
That's an excellent shot from Goosby. He's had an excellent start to this half so far. In less than 2 minutes of play here, he's got 5 points in the half.
On the dribble handoff, Curtis Smith. Smith kicking it, tough catch made in the lane and a foul. What a catch by Lawrence Todman.
And Coach Shell not happy with the miscommunication there. Wasn't happy that there wasn't a switch from that pick and roll. And that's going to cost 2 free throws for BMCC.
So Lawrence Todman, known for his terrific defense. Tommy Guerin told the story a few weeks ago against a good program, Sullivan Community College from upstate New York. Todman defended a player that had just scored 41 points in the first meeting between the two, and Todman was able to hold him to 23. Now, still, you hold the player to 23, you might say, well, he didn't do a great job defensively, but from 41 to 23, Guerin couldn't say enough about how Todman took the challenge personally. But he misses the pair of free throws. Charles spinning into Kovacevic, who walls off well. The loose ball, though, will be regathered by Kingsborough. And then Kovacevic comes up with a block on Legal.
Excellent 2 defensive stops there from Kovacevic. Initially disabling Charles from getting a clean shot to the rim and then blocking that attempt from Goosby.
And Goosby took it into traffic, and it's ripped away by Dublin. Then the trailer is Todman, and he's able to put in a tough shot through contact.
Yep, Guerin really wanted that foul call, getting to the face of that official there.
Legal dropping it off for Charles. So Asaph Charles got off to a wonderful start, Nick. And he had 8 points in the break, but I would say the first 6 were within the first 4 minutes.
And that's what happens when BMCC starts to make their 3-point shots. You feel the need to do it yourself. And Kingsborough trying to rely too much on their 3-point shooting is what really got BMCC their 15-point lead. And heading into halftime, up by 16. Want to see Kingsborough go back to their inside offense through Asaph Charles.
Tonight's CUNy Community College Men's Basketball Championship is also being brought to you by Modell's. They've provided exceptional service for 125 years and offer a 10% discount to all CUNy students, faculty, and staff when you present your valid CUNy ID upon purchase. Look for additional coupons in the game program if you may be in attendance. You gotta go to Moe's. And also by the U.S. Army. There's no greater place to start towards a strong future than U.S. Army ROTC. For more information, check them out via the CUNy Athletics website. 56-41. Ralph Bednarchik alongside Nick Diamantis. Jillian Sakovitz on the sideline tonight. Presenting to you the Community College Men's Basketball Final. BMCC, the number 1 seed, known for their super shooting from the outside. One of the best teams in the country in offense. 91 points a game, shooting 50% from the floor and 43% from 3. But what has been most pleasing to Tommy Guerin is that they average close to 20 assists a game. And he thinks that is their greatest strength. That leads to all that terrific offense. Asaph Charles, and their defense has been good too against Charles as this game has gone along.
Kovacevic, so far the most valuable player for this BMCC team, doing it on both sides of the floor.
And then Curtis Smith taking Charles off the dribble.
Easy basket off of that miss from Asaph Charles. BMCC doing everything right here so far in this game.
Charles again, Kovacevic denies him. Racing ahead is McLean, and then another Kingsborough foul.
BMCC the last two possessions using their defense to create offense. First time around, easy basket. Now it will be McLean shooting two.
Number 1, Travis James, that's his third.
Number 3 on Travis James. So Anthony McLean striding to the free throw line. Tommy Garrett says he's definitely the fastest on our team. We just saw that there. Coming out of Transit Tech High School, a native of Brooklyn. And he is the only returning BMCC Panther from the end of the 2017 season. Lawrence Todman had to leave the team last year. But that is the world that junior college coaches live in. It is a very transient sport with players coming in and out with a lot of different family circumstances and players seeking other opportunities to eventually make it to a 4-year program. That's the whole goal, isn't it?
You see a lot of these players in the community college level move on to not just Division II or Division I. They also stay in the CUNy side.
There's a 3 on target from Sasha Bartolomeev. His third. And Kingsborough, just when it looks like BMCC could pull away, Kingsborough is able to knock down a 3. Karan Dublin, super quickness to get to the rim.
And that's too easy. After making a 3-point shot, you got to say to yourself, we got to keep playing defense to keep getting into this deficit and lack thereof there.
Micaiah Goosby drops it off for Consolo Adams.
Excellent finish from Adams. He seems like he's had more of a presence in the offensive side than Charles has.
Adams has provided 7. Todman changed his shot and still scores around the big.
Todman has proven he's an aerial threat with the ball in his hands, finishing in front of a highly contested Gonzalo Adams.
And a bad pass is turned over again by Kingsborough. It leads to a Dublin 3.
Karan Dublin had an excellent opportunity to put the crowd on its feet. That would have increased the lead to 20, which would have been the largest of the night.
They get Victor Kovacevic for the over-the-back, picking up number 3. BMCC lost in last year's CUNy championship game. They were the 3 seed, losing 82-69 to LaGuardia. LaGuardia just finished a terrific 3-year run of a lot of sustained success. Goosby's runner. Goosby got his own miss, and he's going back to the line.
Excellent effort there from Goosby. Going to the basket as he should have with the size advantage. He had the floater miss, and with a couple of tip-ins by the rim, able to get his own rebound.
So Micaiah Goosby. And the 4th team foul against BMCC. That could be a great asset for the Wave moving forward. So Goosby right on his average already at 14 points.
Morgan returning for the Panthers.
The Wave entered the season with a lot of size. As Dr. Lambert Shell said, this year was about adversity, that we tended to fall apart late in games. That's why they're 10-14, but something clicked eventually in the middle of January where they won 5 out of 6. And they had a devastating loss against Suffolk Community College after the new year, losing 95-58. And the kids finally rallied together and said, let's just start to trust one another and play more team basketball.
And that's what they did Wednesday night, and completing that upset win over Hostos.
Saved along the baseline, and instead we're going to get a foul against Edgar Menos. And Menos complaining. Heads up play by Curtis Smith. Smith is open and short of the 3. 35% from beyond the arc, and he is one of the several Panthers that can light it up from distance. And a good feed inside, and what a tough make. Selvon Legal
catching the BMCC defense by surprise there. They're going to have to keep going into the paint if they want to keep adding points to this deficit.
Dublin as he weaves his way through traffic, but he missed the runner. Kingsborough has flirted with cutting this to single digits for a couple times. Goosby, and now this might be the run. Micaiah Goosby with a big start to his second half. 8 of his 16 already have come in the first 6.5 minutes. Timeout BMCC.
And Goosby, the difference maker for Kingsborough so far this second half. He's trying to do it all on his own, but he's doing it in a very smart fashion. He's taking smart shots, going to the basket, taking high percentage shots. That's what's going to happen. They're going to have to do it that way if they're going to want to make this a game again.
So the Wave have fought back. It's been Micaiah Goosby. A 3 from Sasha Bartolomeev. Nick, what's been the difference in the Wave, if anything? What has triggered this run?
Better defensively for the most part. BMCC, as good as a three-point shooting team as they've been all year. Still, Kingsborough getting hands in their faces. They've been able to make those tough threes, but nevertheless, it's been difficult for them to get open shots like that. Kingsborough just got to be more efficient on the offensive side. They're shooting 37%. They got to get that number a little bit higher if they want to keep getting this game closer and closer.
Kingsborough had several early leads before BMCC was able to get Karan Dublin going from 3. Dublin made 4 first-half threes. And here in the second half, Kingsborough shooting an even 50% of 6 of 12. BMCC not far behind at 5 of 9. But still the game within reach for Kingsborough. Tommy Guerin, BMCC head coach, said his concern among them was intangibles, our lack of experience. With only one player back off of last year's team, that was McLean, that played in the playoffs. He thought his team was nervous in the semifinals. I don't know if that's been the case tonight.
Definitely not the case tonight. They have the home crowd on their side, which is always helpful. And they've been in favor of the lead for most of this game.
Todman and Tommy Guerin asking for a foul.
Doesn't seem to get it. That was a lot of contact there as that ball looked to take that deflection because of the hit to the arm.
Curtis Smith frees himself for the 2.
And that's a big shot there, ending the little run that Kingsborough was able to initiate. Now they got to do on the defensive side.
Goosby find himself open. That was halfway down. Adams missed an easy one. And a battle for the rebound. This will end up in a tie-up. And the arrow is going to point to BMCC.
Kingsborough had a couple of excellent opportunities to put something in the basket. Just falling short both of those times. Excellent effort from both sides there trying to get that loose ball, but the arrow in possession of BMCC there. And Kingsborough going to look back at that and really want those 2 points.
Here is Wei Fang Zheng back on the floor. Zheng got his own miss before Bartolomeev got the block. Adams, as the overpowered Zheng is going to the line.
Excellent decision again by Goosby, seeing the size advantage that Adams had. And Adams got to capitalize on these free throws here. Down by 13 with 12 minutes left in this. This is where these runs start to happen.
Consolo Adams coming to Kingsborough, the island of St. Vincent. Now, Kingsborough Community College, they've done a lot of outreach programs in the Caribbean. And Consolo has family here in New York. So that was part of the draw. The Kingsborough track team has 4 current natives of the island of St. Vincent. And there's one more slated to join the program next year. He did play basketball, but still very raw. But as we could see, he has a chance to be very special. as BMCC takes a timeout here between free throws. As our lead has been, again, trimmed to 12 with still plenty of time left. The winner of this game advances to the Region 15 tournament. And that's a tournament with 6 teams. Kingsborough not expected to be there should they not win this one. BMCC, I think, would be in there as an at-large bid into that tournament. So their season would not necessarily be over, but it would look a lot different because they get a very low seed.
Absolutely, and you would think so. Undefeated in CUNy this year, 20-6 overall record. That's good enough to be well in contention for an at-large if they do, in fact, don't come away with this win. And for Kingsborough, they just got to keep fighting hard. They're trying desperately to keep making this game closer and closer, and they're going to have to do it, getting to the foul line. And you see that with Adams shooting his free throws here, making the first one.
Kingsborough will have to come from behind again. What a thrilling finish to their semifinal as they trailed 72-59 late in regulation. And in the last 3 minutes and 49 seconds, they shocked 2-seeded Hostos 78-76. And it was really Prince Uwigbe, who hasn't played a lot tonight for Kingsborough, but he came up with 3 steals and 3 and-ones in their comeback, playing at the head of the press. So the Wave do have that experience and that ability in their back pocket.
And he was coming off a career high in points on Wednesday against Hostos, finishing with 18 points and 7 rebounds too. So he could definitely be a difference maker down the stretch for this Kingsborough Wave team, if in fact they do keep this game within single digits down the stretch.
Well, the timeout has ended, but now they're going to send the staff out here to wipe down this painted area. Dr. Lambert Shell has been requesting it. Maybe some gamesmanship, you might say, but the problem is that Dr. Shell is also trying to help out the people mopping up the floor. But it does serve as a very long breather for his team.
And that could definitely be an advantage for this Kingsborough team. They're going to need as much energy as they can get for these last 12 minutes and 6 seconds to finish this game down 12 points.
And now the teams are going to be sent, or at least BMCC, they just got sent right back to their huddle. So that was a very long timeout.
At the same time, though, you do have one of your shooters in the middle of his 2 free throw shots. It could also be detrimental to his psyche, his momentum, his routine from the line. Such long breaks in between 2 free throws.
So finally, after 4 minutes of waiting, Consolo Adams will shoot his 2nd free throw.
There you go. That timeout by Guerin works there in between free throws.
Alex Humphreys rebounded the miss. And the 5'10 freshman from Tennessee pushes it forward with Karan Dublin now playing off the ball. And also Devin Berrios onto the floor, but BMCC turns it over. Just their 4th turnover tonight. On the spin, and then a foul against the Panthers. Micaiah Goosby took it into the lane.
That's a tough call there. It just seemed like the BMCC defender, it looks like it's going to go against Dublin there. Just seemed to be in the wrong place that time, falling right in the middle of that Goosby spin. And that's going to put Goosby on the line here.
Yep, they said he was in the act of shooting. So the Wave, their recipe of success, as we talked about earlier, seems to be lined up at 16 fouls with plenty of time left against BMCC. And we asked Dr. Lambert Shell in those 2 games in which Kingsborough did allow 92 points and 96, how well did his team, in his opinion, pound the ball inside and punish BMCC? As Goosby makes both and has 18, the answer was mixed. We got the ball inside very well. The problem was we did not convert very well and finish at the rim.
Absolutely, and Lambert Shell taking a timeout after those 2 made free throws. Most likely going to set up a press here to put the pressure on the BMCC team, trying to create some turnovers. It worked well on Wednesday, creating a ton of turnovers against Hostos, so they're going to try and have the same luck that they did Wednesday night here tonight against BMCC.
Much earlier tonight, the CUNy Community College Women's Championship game was played, and number 1 seeded Hostos used a big second half to upend 2-seeded BMCC on their home floor. Final score was 73-52. Congratulations to the number 1 Hostos Caymans, not just number 1 in the bracket, but also number 1 in the country in the Junior College Division III poll. Congratulations to Coach DeVerney Winston and his staff, and tournament MVP freshman Kayla Wilson. That's a team that is hoping to make the CUNy very proud with a national championship. It's the first time Hostos has ever been ranked number 1, and they've been there at the top of the poll since mid-December. Out of the timeout, Curtis Smith. He's denied at the rim. The follow by Zhang, and he missed the follow.
That's excellent defense there by Kingsborough. Had a couple guys contest that layup in the paint. They're going to have to continue making those stops.
Goosby getting it back. Had the pull-up. And then a rebound going the other way and a foul against Kingsborough.
I don't know about this foul call. They're going to call it against Manos here, but it kind of looked like it was Sasha who kind of had his arm locked with, I think it was McLean on that rebound. So it is only a second team foul, but I don't know. You want to let these kids play.
Returning along with Morgan, McLean, and Todman for BMCC.
Kingsborough has cut it to 10. 4 new players on the floor for BMCC. There's Adams, though, with the swat of Morgan.
And that's an easy block there from Adams. He was totally in the perfect position to swat that ball away. And Kingsborough, they got to keep capitalizing on their forced turnovers.
Now they play through the high post. Goosby, shot clock to 12, forcing up a tough one. Not a good shot.
Yep, and that seems like that's the first one there. His first mistake, and he's obviously shaking his head no, knowing that that's not the right shot that he should have taken in that possession.
This game is also slowed down dramatically compared to the first half burst we saw from BMCC. Todman weaving around Adams, and he left that short.
Todman has to make that one. He got Adams to jump, and that's what you need to do when you're guarded by a big man in the paint.
Bartolomeev. Offensive rebound. The putback goes from Legault. Kingsborough has cut it to 8. They finally reached single digits.
And this is where Kingsborough starts to create their magic. Once they get it within 10, this is where they start to take advantage of the situation. They need to continue with their defensive stops.
And we'll have a foul on the floor against Kingsborough. And the Wave coach sensed.
Prince Uwigbe, number 10, re-entering the game for Kingsborough.
Kingsborough committed 14 first-half fouls, a real source of frustration. Viktor Kovacevic has not scored in the second half yet. Todman missed on the offensive rebound. He had a good tip. And Kingsborough to try to get within a pair of possessions.
And those are 2 straight missed opportunities from inside the paint there for Todman. And when you're only up by 8, you can look back on those misses.
Adams to the right-hand hook. It's a 6-point game.
Kingsborough chugging along, getting on top of this little run here. They've cut it to 6. Can they keep it up?
Consolo Adams with 10. He had 13 and 10 against Hostos in the semifinal. Viktor Kovacevic. Space for Morgan.
Uh-oh, and there's a little skirmish underneath the basket there between Adams and Morgan. We saw some legs get caught.
Mark Morgan took the brunt of the fall. He'll be the one shooting free throws for BMCC.
A foul is charged to number 20, Alexander Bartolomaev. That's his first. It's the team's 6th.
Bartolomaev picking up the foul. Mark Morgan will step to the free throw line where he's 66%. Had a 9-point burst in the first half.
He's been relatively quiet in the second half, as well as Viktor Kovacevic. Those are the guys that are kind of getting it going for BMCC.
The Panthers, they made a living at the free throw line in the first half, shooting 14 out of 18. In the second, these are just the 5th and 6th attempts. After a 1 of 2, Morgan will exit.
Curtis Smith re-entering the game for the Panthers.
And BMCC is going to try to turn up the heat here. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of this from Tommy Guerin in the first 8 to 10 minutes of the second half.
Absolutely. And Kingsborough had trouble breaking the press in the first half. Now with the lead down to 7 points, this is where you want to see BMC be a little more aggressive on defense.
BMCC led by as many as 18 points early in the second. And now a 3 on the way from Prince Uwigbe. Uwigbe knocks down a rare 3. It's a 4-point game.
That's a huge 3-point shot, heavily contested there. That will get the Kingsborough fans very, very rowdy here.
For Uwigbe, just his second 3 of the season. And now the Wave come up with a stop.
Huge block there by Adams. Again, he has been a rim protector, to say the least. With Asaph Charles not playing most of the second half, he's been huge for this Wave team.
Now Goosby. That would have brought the other side of the gym down. However, we get a tie-up. And the Arrow's going to keep it with Kingsborough. No, it's going to be a travel instead.
And that's a good call there. He fell to the floor without a guy on him. And the ref that was right next to the play saw that. And that's a huge call with 7:47 left.
All the momentum on the Kingsborough side. Timeout BMCC. And the Wave have fought back, and it's been in a much different way, I think, than we expected. Consolo Adams has gotten the bulk of the minutes over the very talented Asaph Charles, who we have not seen in a while.
It's been a tale of 2 different centers for these teams. Kovacevic, an incredible first half. Consolo Adams playing out of his mind this second half, doing everything for Coach Shell and the Wave, whether it's protecting the rim, coming up with block after block, or getting the ball in the paint and putting it in the basket. He's been the difference maker for this Wave in this run.
Asaph Charles, all 8 of his points came in the first half, but Consolo Adams has chipped in 5 more here. And his defense has forced a lot of misses at the rim, and it is Charles, incidentally, that is the better shot blocker in terms of stats. But Adams has been playing better towards the end of the season. As Dr. Shell said, he works harder than anybody we have in the gym. Almost at times, he's gasping for air.
And Asaph Charles has re-entered this game here. They're giving Consolo Adams a break here. I don't know if that's the smartest decision, but Asaph Charles is why you are in this game in the first place. See if they can go back to their leader.
So Adams gets a breather. Maybe he did need to gasp for air there for a moment. And against the zone, a wide open 3 is good. Eder Menos. Kingsborough is within 1.
Incredible shot there by Menos. That's his first from behind the arc this game. And having incredible amount of trust within himself, he puts his team within 1.
Menos came in just 29% from 3, 6 of 21. Then Todman had it blocked and ripped away.
That's a huge block. This Kingsborough defense has been incredibly solid this second half.
It swung over to Goosby. Owigbe on the jumper for the lead.
And that's a forced jump shot there. Still had plenty of time in the shot clock. Perhaps look for a pass down low to Charles there. And these fans are getting pumped up as it is coming down the stretch here.
Curtis Smith is fouled. And for the Wave, it'll mean they have to give up a 1-and-1.
It's going to go against Goosby there.
Curtis Smith is at the line.
So Curtis Smith, 74%. After that city championship run with Thomas Jefferson High School, he took the year off from basketball. Just worked, considered his options, and Tommy Guerin and his staff stayed on him. And they thought it would be a little bit of a long shot, but he visited BMCC last year during the CUNy tournament for the final and the semifinals. So he was inspired by that. As he makes both free throws.
Those are two huge free throws for BMCC. A little bit of breathing room for them. As it's still a one-possession game, so Kingsborough can easily tie it up here with a three.
And the shot almost went for Owigbe. He's going to the line.
Very similar shot to the last possession there. He felt the contact there, deciding to shoot it was a smart decision to try and get his team within one here.
So Prince Owigbe responsible, or largely responsible for the comeback that Kingsborough made against Hostos in the semifinal, has given them a lift here. Spent his freshman year at Broome Community College upstate, playing there in 2015-16. Transferred back home last spring before deciding to play this year. And the 18 points he scored against Hostos in the semifinal was a career high.
Both teams trading free throw makes here. No one wants to give up this game.
Stopping and popping is Curtis Smith.
Huge step back jumper. Not a lot of players would have confidence with that shot. Curtis Smith is up to the task.
Owigbe picking up the bump. It'll be a 1-and-1 coming for Kingsborough.
That's not a smart foul there. You're easily beaten along the sideline. He's going to the corner. Let him dribble out of the corner. But you're bailing him out by fouling him and putting him on the line there. That's not what you want.
Owigbe has a front end of a 1-and-1 coming. Let's go to the sideline again with
Coach Guerin there was as fired up as I've seen him this entire game, and rightfully so. You know, they had a cushy 15-point lead, and now it's really anybody's game. He said to them multiple times at the start of that timeout, this is what we have worked for all season, and he encouraged them to get back to playing smart, energetic defense. Kingsborough, a school like this, they can get you with their size. We know that they are the biggest team in the league, and that's exactly what we've seen here happen in like the past 5 minutes or so. And he encouraged them to not let their size win this game and to play smart basketball like they've been doing most of this game. Guys?
Karan Dublin back to the scoop layup. Dublin, his first points in a while.
Huge move there by Dublin as he has been relatively quiet the last couple of minutes here. He's trying to single-handedly get this win for the BMCC Panthers.
From the high post, and the feed is knocked away by Todman.
That's not a smart pass at all. He had to get that through two different BMCC defenders there. And when you're down 3 or 5 minutes left to play, it's decisions like that that could be the difference.
An open look for Humphreys.
That would have doubled the lead there. That's a huge miss. But you got to take those shots there. Those are the ones that win games.
On the entry, Asaph Charles. And Kovacevic ripping down the board.
And Asaph still yet to score here in the second half after having an impressive first half. for KCC.
The ball in the hands of the CUNY Player of the Year as Dublin's layoff for Todman was knocked away and picked up by Kingsborough. Owigbe, Goosby running the floor, and it's going to count. No, check that. They've called the offensive foul.
And it looked like both refs were going to call that. You saw the side ref agree with the ref on the baseline there. That's a huge call there, as that could have potentially brought it within one, and with the free throw, could have tied the game. High intensity here. You couldn't ask for a better finish here at Borough Manhattan Community College.
Off of a screen, McLean puts in a three.
He was left incredibly open there. Someone missed their man there.
Owigbe slipped the pass in. That's rejected by Todman.
That's good offense, but he caught it underneath the basket. He needed a couple more feet of room to work with. Needed to be near the block there. He would have had a nice layup off the box there.
The ball swung over to Curtis Smith. As he weaves through, he turns it over. Prince Owigbe.
Oh, and he hits his head on the floor there. That's
And Owigbe,
that's not good there.
Immediately flopped over. And again, you have to be very careful. This is a much different surface. Frankly, perhaps a harder surface than a true basketball court that has hardwood.
Luckily so, we are playing on a different surface here. And Owigbe definitely seeing some stars there, but extremely fortunate to be able to pick himself up and carry himself. Now he's got two big free throws to make here with 3:11 left to play. These are crucial.
And Owigbe, seeing stars and all, hits the free throw.
Still shaking his head there, trying to take as much time as he can get between free throws. He knows how important these are for his team.
This would be a great time. Remember that 4-minute timeout we had between free throws for Consolo Adams earlier. Off of the second there on the follow, though, is Micaiah Goosby.
That's an incredible effort there from Goosby. Extremely fortunate bounce there. Fell right into Goosby's hands and had an easy floater. Essentially almost a three-point play there.
Timeout taken by Kingsborough. Good timeout by Dr. Lambert Shell. If anything, it gives Prince Owigbe a few more seconds to gather himself. And the way he is playing, he is leading another comeback.
Absolutely. They're going to need his energy for the last 3 minutes and 8 seconds left in this ball game. Again, another timeout here after free throws to set up what could be a full court press, keep the pressure on BMCC. I expect both teams to put the pressure on for the remainder of the game here, make it tough for both teams to set up an offense.
Kingsborough has climbed out of an 18-point second half hole if you're just joining us. Ralph Bjornchik alongside Nick Diamantis. Jillian Zakovitz on the sideline. BMCC's the 1 seed. Looked like they had the coast clear. They were knocking down threes in the first half. They had a lead of 16 points. Kingsborough has been able to get the game into a half-court set. And now the Panthers, as Tommy Garrett said, I thought we were nervous in the semifinals. Maybe some of that is starting to come out again with what he felt was a lack of experience on this team.
Absolutely, and I think for any of these players, there's got to be at least some sort of nerves running through their minds here. But with 3 minutes left in this game, they're going to have to do their best to shake those nerves out and compete and make sure they can get those points in and get this team their win.
Kovacevic, and as he swung the ball outside, he was fouled. So he'll be shooting another 1-and-1.
And luckily so, the foul was on Kovacevic because McLean had a wide open three, and he did make it after the whistle. So it will be on him to put the points up on the board.
For Viktor Kovacevic, that is his first point of the second half. And you extend it further, I think it's his first point in about 25 minutes after his super start to the game. But he still has 19 in support of Karan Dublin's 25. Owigbe across for Adams.
Adams has been super reliable on the block there, even with two guys on him, able to compose himself and easily put it in the basket. Huge bucket there for Kingsborough.
Kovacevic facing up.
That's not the shot you want for BMCC. You got a 3-point lead. It's 2 minutes left. Slow the game down.
Adams instantly drawing a crowd. And the long rebound came out to Kingsborough. There was they had reset the shot clock. So they're going to adjust it. They did not hit rim. They'll adjust it to 12.
That's a big difference here. 12 seconds, got to get the right shot.
Menos thought about it. Goosby will take it. And it's going the other way. And it'll be on Consolo Adams.
Only Consolo Adams' third foul. But again, that's coming at a very untimely time there. Doing his best to get the offensive rebound. But unfortunately, that puts Kovacevic on the line here to put two more free throws.
An 83% free throw shooter. BMCC didn't know they were getting this young man until a week and a half before school started in the fall. Biggest reason why Viktor Kovacevic came to the U.S. He's fortunate that his dad was able to land a job in New York. He gets a pair of free throws. The lead back to 5.
We're inside 2 minutes left here. Mistakes here are
Adams, and he was fouled.
I was going to say mistakes here cannot happen. You got to make sure it's as clean, as mistake-free as possible.
The Panthers are over the foul limit.
So Consolo Adams will shoot a pair. And Kingsborough, remember the free throw disparity that they suffered, and Lambert Shell thought that they were victims of in the first half. Well, the script has been completely flipped. After shooting just 5 free throws in the first, these will be number 15 and 16 of the second. Nearly as many as BMCC had in the first.
A big missed free throw in the first one. He's got to make this one.
Missing a pair, and it's BMCC with possession at a 5-point lead in the CUNY Community College Men's Basketball Championship game, presented by Army ROTC.
This is a big possession for both teams. BMCC could literally put the game away if they could put a basket in here. Kingsborough doing whatever they can to stay here in this game.
A good look for McLean. Big shot, Anthony McLean.
And that's a huge 3-point shot from McLean. As open as can be there.
Owigbe gets a pair right back. Timeout Kingsborough, trailing by 6.
Another timeout there taken by Coach Shell for Kingsborough. Down by 6 with a minute left. Not over yet. They're going to try and create some of the magic that they had happen against Hostos on Wednesday. create some turnovers off the inbound passes, and get some quick points on the board.
So BMCC not in the clear yet. They led this game by 18. They nearly let it slip away, including surviving a potential go-ahead jumper by Kingsborough with about 6 minutes remaining as the Wave came all the way back to having the ball and trailing by 1, but they did not give that up. And they've gotten the big 3 from McLean and some free throws from Viktor Kovacevic to keep Kingsborough at arm's length. Terrific game tonight. This is the 3rd meeting of the season, and the first 2 were blowouts. 92-74 and then 96-77. And the confidence that Dr. Lambert-Shell had coming into this game, his team has proven it to him that they can hang with BMCC.
Yeah, he's hoping that there's some magic still left in this squad. If you're Coach Guerin, you just want to get the ball past half court as quick as possible and try to drain out as much time on the shot clock.
The possession arrow belongs to Kingsborough. That's a big one. Both teams over the limit in fouls. The trap on Todman on the sideline, but he's able to get rid of it. Off to Curtis Smith. Owigbe applying the pressure, and now the bump. So a very good free throw shooter, Curtis Smith, will go to the line.
So Owigbe fouls out of the game.
And yes, it was the 5th and final foul on Prince Owigbe, who was very frustrated as he headed over.
He left his heart and soul out on this court. He had a very good second half for the Wave here.
Smith gets 2. BMCC by 8.
Kingsborough need a quick basket here.
Goosby tries the quick 2 and gets it. 22 for Micaiah Goosby. Todman off the inbound. And the foul applied by Goosby with 33.1 remaining.
That's a good foul. Did it quick. They didn't waste much time on the clock. And they get a different free throw shooter on the line here, which in times past, that definitely helps.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. When the game is over, we ask that all fans please refrain.
So Lawrence Todman, as Kingsborough will make substitutions. This BMCC program finished just 13-13 last year. And with everybody but really McLean being brand new, what a coaching job done by Tommy Guerin, who yesterday was named the CUNy Coach of the Year. Well deserved. And how emotional this must be for a player like Lawrence Todman, who had to leave the program late last season, so he didn't get a chance to play against LaGuardia in the CUNy final, as he misses the second free throw.
Kingsborough trying to push the court up.
The kick out, Menos. Deep look at a 3 and drills it. The lead cut to 4 with 22.7 to go.
Kingsborough not ready to go home yet with a big 3 there by Menos. They're going to need a stop of some sort here if they want to stay in the game.
So the timeout called. Kingsborough has not led since the early first half, but they have never gone away. With 22.7 to go, again, both teams over the limit, and the possession arrow still favoring Kingsborough. The Wave winners of 5 of 6. They've dramatically changed the fortunes of their season, and they hope they can pull through with their first CUNy championship since 2010. They've already had 1 player foul out.
And Goosby has 4, so they have to do some offense for defense. As he's still sitting on the bench waiting for his time to come back on the floor.
Curtis Smith to get it in. Humphreys on the catch, and he is immediately fouled. So freshman Alex Humphreys will stride to the free throw line with 21.2 to go.
The minnow sets his third. Humphreys will go to the line.
He's a 64% free throw shooter.
Yeah, and Humphreys hasn't seen the line today, and he's scoreless on the evening. So this could be. I'm about to say this could be nervous for him, but makes the first one pretty easily.
Tommy Guerin invited him for a visit via email. And Alex obliged, fell in love with New York City. He makes the second, and now the takeaway by Dublin on the steal and the foul. With 15.2 remaining, a costly turnover by Kingsborough.
And Manos started running without the ball in his hands. And like it is in football, I got to catch the ball first and start running with it. Manos a little bit too anxious there. And that could be the final dagger that ends this game.
Freshman Karan Dublin. He's at 25 points, 18 of which coming in the first half, where he put together quite the spurt.
Lawrence Todman re-entering the game.
On his way to becoming an All-American, eventually went to a Division I junior college in Kansas, but didn't like the situation, came back home. 7-point game. Sasha Bartolomeev airballs the three. It's out of bounds. Going back to BMCC with 8 seconds remaining. So the Panthers and their fans rising behind us. And I guess they call the foul?
No, they're going to look at the replay review to make sure they get this one correct.
Yep. So that's what it'll be. They're going to check out our broadcast and see what that was. And this is a critical review. With 8 seconds, if Kingsborough can get a quick shot off, they can still cut this to a pair of possessions.
In real time, it did look like a hit off the Kingsborough player last. But the refs, as they should, they got to get this one correct, and they will go to the replay center to get this one right.
Just a reminder for the safety of the staff and student athletes as well as the coaches.
So the Wave wait patiently.
We ask that all fans please remain in the bleacher seating area.
But a program that, regardless of what happens here, can take a lot of pride after the way this finished. And several sophomores that are going to have opportunities for the next level, particularly big men Aesop Charles and Consolo Adams.
Yep. A lot of promise with those two guys. They have the size and the offensive ability.
And the officials out of the replay review, they will confirm it is BMCC ball.
It won't be those two guys' last games of basketball for sure. They'll have plenty more basketball left in their careers after this game.
Kingsborough not applying pressure. They're going to allow BMCC to dribble this one out. The BMCC Panthers on their home floor can celebrate a CUNy championship. The BMCC Panthers capture the program's 5th title and 2nd in the last 4 years. They hauled off Kingsborough's valiant comeback tonight, 88-81.
An incredible game from Karam Dublin. 25 points, incredible effort from Kingsborough, trying to do whatever they can to get back into this game. Got it to within 1 point. And at one point in this game, we really thought this could go down to the last seconds of the game. But it was Karan Dublin's show with the last 5 minutes left and he was the difference maker for BMCC.
Dublin finishes with a game-high 27 points as the Panthers are still celebrating. In junior college, you're usually saddled with a brand new team that you have to coach up. And Tommy Guerin having only one returner that lasted the whole season last year. And he put together quite a team that is now 21-6 and headed to the Region 15 tournament with a lot of momentum and a team that can do major damage with the way they can shoot the basketball.
Absolutely. As long as their three-point shooting game is on point, they will have plenty of success. They won't ever have to worry about relying on any scoring. Their defense will come from their offense.
88-81 is the final. BMCC. Stay with us here on Facebook Live. We will come back with post-game interviews and reaction from the floor and the trophy presentation as the Panthers celebrate a crowd tonight on Facebook Live and the CUNy Community College Championship presented by Army ROTC.
Kingsborough Community College ranks as one of America's top 4 community colleges because Kingsborough students have a high rate of success completing their degrees. They learn in over 50 programs enriched by honors courses and opportunities for civic engagement. They have outstanding success gaining well-paid employment or going on to a 4-year college. When you're ready to change your life, when you're ready to change the world, Kingsborough is here for you.
The best new sports web series is here. It's from Backpack Broadcasting, and it's called The Sports Walk. The Sports Walk is a series where diverse sports fans take a walk and share their views at the intersection of sports and society. The entire first season is now available on Backpack Broadcasting's YouTube channel and backpackbroadcasting.com. See what other sports fans have to say about a variety of issues in the world of sports. Watch all 13 episodes from Season 1 and take The Sports Walk today.
Evans for three. Oh, how about that? Now the Dolphins break in as it's Wizakowski who drills it in. Trip, nice pull, and finished. Nice pass, Moore with the jam. Yeah. Guys the ball up to the near post, and there to hit the ball into the goal is Mustafa Harani. And a slam by Sidney Wilson.
Hi, I'm John Starks. What's going on? I'm Victor Cruz.
My name is David Diamante.
Hi, this is Larry Fitzgerald.
Hello, this is Spike Lee, and you're watching Backpack Broadcasting.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn, and guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
Enrolling in college can seem confusing, but at Kingsborough, we're here to guide you through the process.
From registration through graduation, there's always someone available to help you.
Your first stop is the Admissions Information Center located in the Academic Village. They can set up a tour of the campus and answer your questions about our majors and the admissions process.
On the 2nd floor of the village, you can get help completing the free application form for Federal Student Aid, also known as FAFSA, so you can apply for financial aid.
It is important to complete the FAFSA even if you don't think you qualify for financial aid. About 6 out of 10 CUNy students actually attend tuition free, and many others have most of the tuition covered by federal or state grants such as Pell and TAP.
If this is your first time attending college, your next stop is Freshman Services.
Freshman Services works with you from the moment you made that decision to come to Kingsborough Community College. We'll help you choose your classes for your first semester and actually register you for them. Once you're enrolled in classes, you'll be invited to attend our new student orientation, which we call Campus Fest.
Many freshmen choose to enroll in one of our learning communities. There you'll be part of a small group of about 25 students who participate in 3 linked courses: an English course, 1 course required for your major, and the 3rd course is a student development course designed to help you transition to college.
If you've attended any other college prior to Kingsborough, you'll enroll through our transfer office. We'll make sure that your transcript is evaluated and will assist you with registering for courses.
If you were educated outside of the U.S., like myself, you work closely with the International Students Affairs Office. Our student body is very diverse. We come from 142 different countries and speak 73 languages.
At a liberal arts college like Kingsborough, you have the opportunity to get a taste of many different subjects, from the social sciences to the fine arts to the natural sciences.
Kingsborough offers over 50 programs that prepare you either for a 4-year degree or to join the workforce right away.
In every department, we have faculty members who are actively involved in their fields and who teach because they want to.
We're creating new programs all the time. Among the latest additions to Kingsborough's programs are concentrations in animation, philosophy, food and beverage management, and the only paramedic degree program in Brooklyn.
Many students come here unsure about what they want to do with their lives. Use your elective credits to explore new things.
You should meet with your academic advisor each semester before you choose your courses so that you don't jeopardize your financial aid or delay graduating.
If you're interested in exploring subjects more in depth, you should consider the honors program.
At Kingsborough, we don't recruit honors students, we create them. Our honors program is open to students who have a 3.2 or higher GPA and are highly motivated. Those who have a 3.5 or higher GPA are invited to join Phi Theta Kappa, our 2-year international honor society, and many of our students apply for and receive wonderful scholarships as a consequence of their strong academics.
The experience is quite rewarding. This spring, I'll be going to Salzburg, Austria, to meet with wonderful students from around the world to work on global issues.
School shouldn't only be about work though. We have over 50 clubs and organizations you can get involved with. Some are social clubs, some center around social issues, others focus on student majors like Ceramics Club and the radio station. They plan activities like trips, lectures, and movies.
Also, in student publications, we have 4 different clubs: Scepter, our award-winning school newspaper; Antheon, our Journal of the Arts; Odyssey, our yearbook; and Paradox, a new comic book club.
Students should get involved with student government and other clubs. For one, you get to meet new people, you get to try new things, and it looks great in your resume.
We also have a great sports program here. We have championship teams like men and women track and field, men and women soccer, basketball, and volleyball, just to name a few. If you don't want to be on a team, we have a great intramural program. We also have a fitness center and a swimming pool. All you would need is your KCC student.
Current a championship and MVP. I saw you get emotional up there. What does this mean to you?
It means a lot. Like, I've been through a lot with high school and going away to college in Kansas. Like, coaches not giving me confidence. So I came back home, and coaching staff here, Coach G, my teammates, they gave me confidence. You know, I put in extra work, extra hours, extra shots for them for moments like this. So I'll be game ready. And that's what it's all about. Practice makes perfect.
You've said it before, and you said it just now, that Coach Guerin helped give you the confidence to be able the type of player that you knew you can be. What does he mean to you?
A lot. You know, and not only Coach G, all my coaches throughout life, from high school, from my trainers, from middle school, all of them, they all taught me a lot of things. They all gave me a lot of wisdom, and I kept it with me and just kept it. Oh, man. It's too much going through my mind right now.
I promise just one more question for you. And you speak so well of your teammates, you'll be able to answer this for me.
Yeah.
To be able to stave them off for as long as you did and pull out the win and keep your composure, what does it say about you and your teammates?
He was confident. You know, we knew what to do, just to stay composed and stay strong. Like, we didn't want to, like, give away this win. We was up 15, and Kingsborough really fought. They fought back, and we started arguing, but we said, nah, let's just stay together. That's what we preach in the locker room. Family first, and stay together. That's it. We won.
And congratulations, and go enjoy it, okay? Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Jill. MVP Karan Dublin, just a freshman, was Player of the Year, Nick. 27 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals. He played the full 40 minutes, but at times you really felt his presence, particularly in the first half, where he took over the game and changed the whole tone of the game.
Absolutely. He was the reason why they were able to get up to as much as 15 points.
Let's go back to Jill, who's now with Tommy Garrett.
Especially as a coach, that's probably more excitement than you would have wanted to see. But for them to be able to pull it off and keep the lead, even though it was small at times, what does it say about this group?
They're champions. They're fighters. A lot of teams would have just kind of rolled over once Kingsborough made that great comeback. But we fought. We knew they weren't going to go away. I was hoping they wouldn't make it that close, but we fought and we never gave up.
For you personally, your third year here, first championship, what does it mean?
It's great, but it's more important for the kids. To be a college student athlete and win a conference championship with 15 of your best friends, best feeling in the world. I'm so happy for my guys.
After everything he went through and then transferring to BMCC, Corinne Dublin, how deserving was he to have the type of night that he did and the type of season that he's had so far?
Hardest working kid that I've ever coached. First one in, last one out. Type of kid who gets up on his own 6:30 a.m. in the off season just to be ready. That kid deserves everything he got.
And the rest of the team, including Corinne, now have to prepare for regionals. What is this team going to have to do to make that next step?
We just have to play our game. I think we showed tonight and throughout the season we can play with anybody in the country. We just have to stay poised, stay confident, and do what we do best.
Coach, thanks so much for the time.
Tommy Guerin won 2 CUNy tournament championships while he was a player in 2009 and 2010 at Brooklyn College, going to the NCAA tournaments. He played for Steve Podias, was known as a great role player, a glue guy, a winning player. Now, Nick Diamantis, he's a winning head coach.
Absolutely. It's got to be such a thrilling thing to go through as a head coach. This is what you coach all season for, and to have the opportunity to play in the Region 15 tournament, this team's more than hyped to get going and hopefully make a run for the national tournament.
Micaiah Goosby led Kingsborough in a losing effort with 23 points and 5 assists to go along with 7 rebounds. BMCC, in addition to Dublin's 27, Victor Kovacevic chipping in 21. BMCC knocking down 8 threes, and they hold off a furious Kingsborough rally to capture the program's 5th CUNy championship. That does it for all of us here in downtown Manhattan on the campus of BMCC. This game was produced by Dexter Henry and for my partner Nick Diamantis and for Jillian Sakovitz on the sideline. My name is Ralph Bnorchik saying good night from Facebook Live. For all of us from the CUNy Athletic Conference, thank you so much for watching. This has been a presentation of the CUNy Athletic Conference and presented by the Army ROTC program.